girls, welcome to another episode of Pastors of Pain. So glad you are with us, whether you're listening on the podcast, whether you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Pete 94.3 here in Stillwater. Welcome. Father Carey's had a couple good episodes. If you've not caught up, maybe you've been traveling. He had last week a really cool episode with an OSU student named Trevor Alley, and just a really beautiful conversion story. So if you have not caught up, dang it, you better get caught up. Go take a jog around Boomer Lake, or go get on a plane and listen to the podcast. We are so glad you're with us. Father Carey, not here. So one of the things in the summertime, Father Carey and I have a hard time matching up our calendars, because I was gone for a little bit, and then he was gone for a little bit, and then he has a really busy week. And so we have a wonderful special guest, and that is the new hospitality coordinator at St. Francis Xavier Catholic Church, Amanda Fiorazo. Welcome, Amanda.
Hi, welcome. I'm glad to be here.
Love it. So Amanda is not new to Stillwater, has been in and around Stillwater as a student at Oklahoma State, recent graduate, and now on staff at St. Francis Xavier. So Amanda, give us a little background. Where are you from? Where'd you grow up? How'd you get to Stillwater?
So I'm actually from Russia. I was born there and then was adopted at age 5 and came to America. And then I moved to Edmond, Oklahoma. My brother was also adopted from Russia along with me. We kind of came as a package deal. So
Totally.
We were stuck with each other.
Good package
Oh, yeah.
deal.
So then we went to Edmond, Oklahoma, grew up there. I went to St. John's there, was very involved in the youth group. My mom was Baptist, and then my dad was Catholic. So we kind of got a raising from the Baptist and the Catholic side.
Did you went to both churches as you were growing up?
Yes, yeah,
okay.
for a little bit.
Interesting, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then my dad really raised us in the Catholic faith. I was drawn to it. I loved it. I knew that was the truth. So I kept pursuing that.
What's your favorite thing about being a Catholic?
I love the Mass.
Ooh, nice.
There's something special about the Mass and adoration, and just learning more about the theology of the faith as well.
Love it. So when you were growing up at St. John the Baptist in Edmond, shout out to all of our, both of our Edmond listeners. I'm just kidding. I don't know how many people listen in Edmond. There's a few. We love you. You went to youth group and stuff like that?
Yeah, I
what
went to Steubenville.
Oh, you went to Steubenville.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was awesome.
We got that coming up.
Oh, yeah. And actually, that's where my mom converted as well. So
really? Mm-hmm. She went to a Steubenville conference as a chaperone?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Because I had been working a lot with her, and I was like, Mom, you got to join the Catholic faith. But I wanted to make sure that was what she wanted to do. That was her heart.
That's wild.
And so I really prayed a lot for her while she was there.
Does she know that? Or is this...
No.
She doesn't know that?
No.
She's probably going to hear this.
Yes, yeah. She'll know it now.
Okay.
But go ahead.
We don't want to reveal all of our deep, dark secrets here on the show.
That would be weird.
So you grew up in Edmond, and then you graduated... What high school did you go to?
I went to Edmond Santa Fe.
Edmond Santa Fe, right on, because I know there's multiple big high schools in Edmond. It's a big place. And then you came to OSU. How did that happen, that you came to Stillwater?
So I actually originally wanted to get away from Oklahoma and go to northern Michigan.
Oh.
For an exercise program.
Uh-huh.
So I actually went and toured and visited. And I also have a lot of family that's there as well.
Okay, nice.
And so I went there, and I really liked the university. Loved it because it was on Lake Superior as well. And
that's a beautiful part of the country.
Yes.
Northern Michigan.
Yeah, it is. And so then my mom was actually an alumni from OSU. So she came here and she was like, hey, Amanda, at least tour the place. And I was like, okay, fine.
Give it a look.
Yep.
Make your mother happy.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
I was like,
Be
fine,
a good
Mom.
daughter.
Yes. And so I prayed about it. I went and visited the Catholic Student Center. And I met Father Carey there. I was terrified at first. I was not used to
That's most people's reaction. What is going on? I've never met a priest like you.
Yes, but he had so much joy, which was very attractive.
He does have a lot of joy.
Yes. And so I prayed a lot about it. I went into the chapel and I just felt this overwhelming peace. And I was like, and I said, yes, Lord. I was like, I'll go here. And they also had the hospitality and tourism program, which I accidentally got a private tour of that program. So I got to meet the
that was not
president.
you were looking towards the exercise kind of diet world, or I don't know whatever that's officially called. I don't know.
I was a little obsessed with health as a high schooler.
Yeah.
But
that's something interesting to you, and so then you make a career of it. Yeah.
Yep. But then I also realized I didn't like science that much. It was hard for my brain to comprehend. So
yeah, if you're going to go in that world, it's a lot of chemistry and anatomy and all that good stuff. All right, so you come to OSU, and so St. John's was like a big part of your decision.
Yes, it was, because I wanted to continue following my faith. I knew that was important, especially in college, and I wanted that community, and that's what was lacking in Northern Michigan.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's so interesting. Like for OSU, I mean, there's multiple kind of thriving churches and campus ministries, but I think sometimes, not necessarily, I'm not accusing OSU, but like I think sometimes universities, secular universities or public universities kind of downplay the role. I mean, a lot of young, faithful people are coming and they want, a thriving Baptist ministry and Methodist ministry and Catholic ministry and Muslim ministry. They want that. And so if a school has that, it's going to attract more students.
Yes.
And you're a good example of that. St. John's helped you come here.
They did.
And so you found that tourism, what's it called? The School of
Hospitality and Tourism Management.
There we go. How'd you got a private tour? How'd that happen?
Yeah, that went really good. I actually got a tour, the Taylor's restaurant that they have there. And it's where people go there to eat for lunch.
I need to go. You should go. Because you've told me about it. I just never.
Yeah, because and it was
not
really
on my restaurant radar, if such a thing exists.
And it was really neat because little did I know that 2 years later, I'd actually be the TA for that restaurant.
Yeah, you ran it. I mean, you were, running the show.
It was really neat because they make all of the students that are in that program, they go and they participate for front of house, which is the service aspect, and then back of house, which is learning how to cook and what amounts to cook. Oh, yeah.
Wow. What was the attraction then? I mean, ultimately, you majored in that. Mm-hmm. What was the leap to out of the diet or out of the exercise world into the hospitality world?
I've really been praying about it, and I was like, Lord, I really want to serve you, and I wanted whatever my career to be to do that, and so He kind of was like, hey, look into this, and I love it, and ever since then, I've been learning more and more about how it's in the Bible, like how hospitality is present in that.
Love that. So you graduated, and then it sort of lined up nicely. We had been at the parish. We had been talking for several months about the importance of hospitality, as we talk a lot about stewardship, but as a pillar of stewardship. Hospitality is the first pillar of stewardship. If you're gonna be a parish that's open and welcoming and where everybody has a place, hospitality, how people are received, has to be a huge part of that. So we've done a number of things. We have greeters. We have we try to have like a kind of a welcoming atmosphere at the parish. But we had thought about kind of the way we do events and the way we just kind of the stuff around the Sunday Mass, the stuff around different events. And we thought we need someone to come in and kind of run that. Somebody who knows what they're doing. So anyway, so we put it out there, and Amanda, you applied.
Yes.
Tell us about that. I mean, it was a kind of a perfect storm of like you were about to graduate.
Yeah.
The job comes up. How did that happen?
So I actually wasn't going to apply at first because I saw it and I was like, I don't have enough experience, so I don't need to apply. But then I had some good friends of mine that was like, hey, Amanda, there's this new position. You should apply. And actually, my roommate's mom told me about it at first.
Oh, nice.
So that was really cool.
Thank you, roommate's mom.
Yes.
Nice.
So that was really cool. And I prayed a lot about it. I was like, Lord, is this what you want me to do? Like, because I really don't feel qualified for this. Like, I know I've been studying this, but I don't have the experience that they might be looking for. But he was like, hey, go for it. Like, the worst that they can say is no. Like, trust in me.
Yeah, and we didn't. This was new for us. This is not a position. So Amanda's position is hospitality coordinator. That's not a thing you see at a lot of parishes. So for us, it was kind of, we were going into kind of uncharted territory of, we kind of look around, you Google and you see what other parishes do, and we couldn't really find it.
Yeah,
so we
I looked too.
We made it up. Yeah. Knowing that this was something important to us, something we really wanted to emphasize. So we weren't really sure, we had never had this position before. We weren't really sure exactly what we were looking for. We kind of were of the mind, like, we're going to know it when we see it, when somebody shows up. Anyway, and that was you. So how did that, when you applied, we offered you the job, you took it. What was kind of what was your sort of initial, you nervous? You were excited, little of everything?
I was very excited. I also felt very honored. But I was also terrified because I had all these expectations in my head. And I had to realize that I needed to trust in God in this. Like, I got chosen, so obviously they do believe in me. And so I needed to believe in myself as well.
Yeah. Yeah, just that confidence going in. Okay, Lord, this is what you want me to do.
Yeah.
I don't feel very equipped. I feel this way all the time as a priest. Like, Lord, you want me to do what? You want me to go into this, into this situation? Like, I've never done that before. I'm not equipped to do that. And the Lord just, kind of says, okay, look, I'm gonna take care of you.
Yes. Yeah.
Follow me and I'll get you there.
Yes.
You had that same sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Beautiful. So then Amanda had a very adventurous, maybe like 10-day period between. So multiple things happened to you. Give us that rundown. Kind of the day you started was right after graduation. Anyway, tell us about kind of that the week of graduation and all the things that happened to you.
Yes. So the week of graduation, so I graduated. And then I wanted to get away from the world, so I went on a retreat. And then within the next day, I got engaged to my fiance, Chris Petrin.
Who was on the show 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
With Father Carey.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He did. He did the incarnation.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Yes, yeah.
All right, so you graduate, you got engaged.
Mm-hmm. Went on a retreat.
And then you started your job.
Yes.
In like a 5-day period. That's a very eventful.
It was. I felt very honored and blessed because like the last couple of months had not been so good. And then all of a sudden there was all these blessings.
All this fruit. Yeah. Yes. I love that. Okay. Tell us about the job. Hospitality coordinator. What do you do all day?
I do all day. There's
a lot of things going on. Yeah.
Yes.
So especially because it's not something that a lot of parishes have. So even like when we posted the position, there was, there were like people in the parish who, no one was like hostile, but people were like, what is this? Like, we don't need that. And I guess in one sense, like we don't need it. Obviously there's a lot of parishes that don't have it and are just fine, but it was something that we wanted to do. So anyway, give us a little bit about what do you do all day? It kind of varies from day to day, but
it does.
Give us the scoop.
All right. Well, from day to day, I start off by drinking coffee and praying.
Prayer and coffee.
Yes.
Excellent.
And I kind of am reminded every day what hospitality is, and how I view it is that we welcome the stranger as Christ himself. So I keep that in mind from day to day.
I love that. When I was in seminary, I went to seminary at a Benedictine seminary, St. Meinrad in Indiana. And I had never been around Benedictines. And one of their like main sort of charisms is hospitality. And they have this line where they say that all guests are to be welcomed as Christ.
I love it.
So when somebody knocks on your door or knocks on the door of the monastery, they are to be treated as if Jesus himself knocked on the door.
Yeah, and that's beautiful. I've actually been reading about the Benedict
tell us
rule
about
for
it.
that. And there's this good book called Radical Hospitality by Lonni, Pratt, and Father Daniel that have been a lot of inspiration for where I'm getting my hospitality as well. And one of the things that they talk about is that hospitality takes a culture. It's not just focused on one person. So the hospitality coordinator, yes, they bring hospitality, but it also takes the entire parish as well.
Yeah, I love that. Because I've had people say, I think people say this about Father Carey. People have said about me of like, oh yeah, your priests are like, they're really outgoing and welcoming. But like if you're I'll just say it simply, I'm not always that way. Like there's times I'm in, a bad mood or not feeling particularly, but let's say your priest is like super outgoing, but the rest of the parish is like hostile to strangers.
Right. And
like,
that's the opposite.
Then your parish stinks. Like even if your priest is the most, welcoming or the most outgoing, and the rest of the parish is, is not welcoming. That's no good. Anyway, keep going. Yeah. What else in that hospitality world?
Also, for hospitality, a lot of it is listening to people, being present with them, available and open. So you have to keep those in mind whenever you're doing hospitality. Like our lives get busy, but if we see someone walk through the door, we need to stop and be present with them. And so part of the things that I do too is plan and execute events or help other people do that. One of the events that I recently did was the Scott Hahn event.
That was wild.
Yeah.
Man, what a fun night. So Dr. Scott Hahn was here from Franciscan University in Ohio. And it was a big night. We had people from all over the state, from Texas and Arkansas. And, so it was a lot of our own people that we know. And then a lot of strangers.
Yes.
There were some non-Catholics that were there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was beautiful. We had a wonderful dinner at the rectory with Dr. Hahn and some other people. And then this reception, I just liked it because there were ice cream sandwiches. But my vote would be to have ice cream sandwiches at all parish events, big and small. Can we pull that off? I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
Okay. I was like, we might make people a little bit.
7 a.m, ice cream sandwiches. But tell us about that. Tell us about the Scott Hahn event. How did that all come together? What kind of effort did that take?
So it took a lot of thinking, that's what I really love about this position is you have time to think about the event. And so I prayed a lot about it and I was like, okay, Lord, like, what do we want in this? Like, what is the outcome that we're wanting? And so a lot of it was, I wanted people to gather together. I wanted people to be able to talk to each other. And so I got bistro tables, that allowed for more flow of the room.
Yeah, not like sit down,
right?
But like, you're kind of standing at a bar or something.
Exactly.
Kind of lean against it and have a conversation.
Yeah, and it was like more casual and laid back, so people didn't feel too nervous. And then I also set it up where I had a buffet kind of style, a triangle style with the tree in the middle, and food all around it. So people were able to circle around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you gotta have food.
Yeah, talk about that. So I mean, in Jessica Petter, who's on our staff, she has this great line. She says, like, food is God's love made edible.
Ooh,
I love that. It's just a great line. Talk about the importance of food in hospitality. How does that? I mean, it's not everything, but it's
right.
When there's good food,
yes,
you want to stick around.
Oh yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, food helps bring people together because people are able to share in something. They might find out something that they both like about the food. They might also find that.
Yeah, when you're sitting eating, even with strangers, even with an enemy.
Yeah.
Like there's this immediate, like you have something in common.
And it reminds me of the Passover, actually.
Yep.
Jesus all sat with his disciples at the Passover and they all shared a last meal together. And even the betrayer he invited to that meal.
Yep. Food is, it's the kind of the great equalizer. I mean, there's this camaraderie I mean, if you said, "Hey, we're going to get some people together. We're going to sit around a table and we're going to drink water," you'd be like, well, that sounds like the worst party ever.
Especially people who don't like water.
Yeah, especially people who don't like water. Yeah, but then if you said, "Hey, I'm having some people over. I'm cooking Italian."
Yes. Yeah.
Do you want to come? Well, yeah.
And this also provides a meal for people who might be on a very limited budget.
Sure.
And might not have as good food usually.
Yeah. It's really, it's beautiful when there is good food, and we like one of the things we have like good coffee, good, kind of cut up fruit, those kinds of things that it kind of raises, and this is part of what Amanda does all day, is kind of raises the dignity of an event.
Yes.
You can always sort of throw out cookies and put out some bottles of water, and that's better than nothing. But like, imagine, when you go to an event and there's homemade cookies and maybe, and coffee and water and juice and fruit and a little something for everybody. It just simply makes you feel more at home.
Yeah.
And that's what we want in the church.
Right. And it also provides an opportunity for service. So a lot of times for these events, like you have a lot of volunteers and it provides them an opportunity to serve for the parish.
Yeah. And you've put together, you've only been on the job a month.
Yeah. A month and a half.
Maybe a month and a half. And you already have like a nice group of committed volunteers. We're always looking, of course, for more. What are you looking for in a volunteer?
I'm looking for that heart of service and for prayer. For any event that I like to do, I like to pray. So for the Scott Hahn event, we said a rosary before that event.
Well, you gathered up with your team and prayed the rosary together. Beautiful.
Yes, because prayer needs to be in the center of an event. Because a lot of times you'll have things go wrong, but that's not the focus of the event. The focus is to just be present and allow and trust in God.
Nice. So I know you also ran just recently the Father Robert Duck, our associate pastor, is gone. He's off to his new parishes. You ran those receptions. Same kind of thing, right? The event wasn't necessarily to bring. The event was to say goodbye,
right?
And that was all sort of facilitated by food and environment. Yeah, tell us about that. How did all that come together?
Well, I started off by coming up with what I wanted to focus on. So my focus for that particular event was to give comfort to the parishioners and for them to be able to say goodbye. Because I knew that like Father Duck had been there for a while, and a lot of the parishioners loved him. So I wanted to provide an opportunity where they could go and say goodbye. So I made sure that there was cards where they could write to him.
Oh, nice.
And then I also put some favorite things that he liked in the meal. So one of them was he really loves Starbursts. So I made sure I had that out.
I always had those on his desk, yeah.
Yes. And I found out that a lot of other people like Starbursts too. So
write that down for future events.
And then he really loved Diet Coke. So I had that.
Just like Diet Coke. Yeah. Nice. So those kinds of events, that's kind of what we were looking for in this position when Amanda was hired on, to bring those kinds of events and to make them, just make them better and make people want to come, not just come, but stay. Tell us about like what's the opposite of hospitality? What does that, what is that for you? Like, what does that look like? Or I guess maybe I want to ask it this way. Like, kind of what advice do you give to the average churchgoer? What are things they can do? What are maybe things they can stop doing? So I have this pet peeve of like, there's no assigned seats.
Yes.
Like, if you think you have an assigned seat at our church, you don't. There's no such thing.
No.
And so when you go into your pew, or you show up 2 minutes before and someone is sitting, quote unquote, in your seat, like, go sit somewhere else because it's not your seat. That's one of those like anti-hospitality things that I see. What do you see?
Yeah, I agree with that. Also, like introducing yourself to people.
Yeah.
That is a great way. Like even a simple like, hi, good morning. How is your day going?
Yeah, what's your name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And then also, like, when you go to an event, like, be thankful for what is present. Because you don't understand how much work and effort that it takes to put that on.
Sure.
And so just being thankful for what's present in front of you.
Yeah, love that. Well, in this time of year, just in the last couple of weeks, we've had a number of events at the parish, and this especially in Stillwater, college town, lots of new people coming.
Yes, yeah.
So, at St. John's, it's a whole new freshman class, transfer students, grad students, all that. And at our parish, it's not undergraduate students, but it's new families that are moving in. What would you say to sort of the average parishioner, how best to be hospitable to a new family? What do we do?
Well, when you notice that there's a new family, maybe after Mass, go up and introduce yourself and be like, hey, my name is so-and-so, and I noticed that you were new here. Like, where did you come from? Why are you here? And also talk about, like, how long you've been at the parish so that they know how long you've been there. And then start inviting them to events. That is a huge thing for hospitality. Personally inviting
Personal
somebody.
invites. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I love that. And then I think too, Stillwater is a small town. And of course we have parishioners from Perkins and Coyle and Ripley and Agra and, Glencoe and all kinds of places. So figuring out, okay, where does this person live? Inviting them over for dinner.
Yes.
Inviting them out for a cup of coffee, especially maybe you're like both professors or something, okay.
Yeah.
And start introducing them around. Maybe you have kids.
Yeah. Finding the similarities.
Yeah. Making those connections is really huge. Because I think what happens a lot of times in the Catholic Church and in other places, people come, nobody says hi. Nobody looks at them.
Yes.
People kind of have, when they go to Mass, especially, I'm here. I just want to go to Mass and leave me alone. That's the opposite of what we're trying to do.
Right.
So obviously you want to come to Mass and pray, but have that awareness, who is around me.
And attentiveness.
Yeah. And it might be somebody new, or it might be somebody that's been here forever, but you don't know them. We have to get into this kind of mentality of introducing ourselves. And being aware, not just sitting with the same people all the time, as good as that is, and maybe those people are your best friends in the whole world, but having this kind of constantly, Father Carey and I talk about kind of having our head on a swivel to be able to, okay, I don't know that person. That person looks lost. That person is, could be new, or at least is new to me, to take the initiative to go up and.
Yeah. And it's hard to go up to a stranger and start introducing yourself.
Yeah, but it takes work. I mean, the more you do it.
Yes, the more you do it, for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. We have this summer, we just have another minute or so left. We're going to do some neighborhood gatherings, or we kind of want to, it's not just a summertime thing. Tell us about that. We want to kind of get people together where they live. Yes.
So neighborhood gatherings is to bring our neighbors together to get to know them and grow in deeper relationship with them. And a great way to do that is to have dinner for them.
Food.
Yes.
We're back to food.
Oh, yeah. So the purpose of that is really just getting to know our neighbors, because it's said throughout the Bible as well, love your neighbor.
Yep. Love your neighbor as yourself.
Yes.
So the first one coming up is July the 12th for the neighborhood in and around the parish. Father Robert Healy and I will be hosting our neighbors around the parish. So if you don't live near the parish, you can't come because you're not my immediate neighbor. But you can have a party in your own neighborhood, and Amanda will help you do that. So if you want to host,
I'm here to help.
Whether an apartment, kind of apartment complex, one of the towns, a particular neighborhood, you can reach out to Amanda and you can host it, and we'll help you. You don't have to host 50 people.
I'm here to help you.
By yourself. Okay, well, Amanda Fiorazo, we have come to the end of this episode of Pastors of Pain. Thank you for your service to the parish. Thank you for your love and your joy and helping us to be a more hospitable place.
Oh, well, thank you.
I love it. All right, join us next week. Thanks for listening. Pray for us, and we'll see you soon. God bless.